welcome back to another bookish video. I am a bit late, a little overdue, since we are almost halfway through February. And as all of us know, February is also the month that Black history, culture, artistry, everything, right, is recognized and celebrated. And I realized, I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't shared with y'all what I am planning to read. Okay, so let me just catch y'all up. Alrighty. So, let me lead with this. I know I sound terrible right now. Not as bad as I did like 2 days ago. So just bear with me, okay? And it's a little sexy, right? It's a little sexy, having a little hoarseness. I don't know if y'all feel that way. Anyway, I don't feel that way. It just is what it is. But I couldn't wait any longer. I have to let y'all know what I'm reading because I think I have a lot of good reads, okay? So to catch y'all up, January, my last full-length video, right? The first half of January, I shared what I read, okay? And the latter half of January, I have been reading, I was rereading some romances. So we know the very commercialized Valentine's Day is upon us. And I thought it would be cute to do like a little themed book video. So I will share with you all what I read the latter half of January on or near Valentine's Day, okay? Hopefully it turns out all right. It's just something I think is a little cute. We gonna see. But obviously, right, we're in February and there's a lot of books that I have planned and I need to get on it, right? So I have a variety of genres by Black authors with Black characters as the leads, right? So y'all know some of my favorite genres are romance, sci-fi, fantasy. But I have a couple of historical fiction reads in here as well. So enough said, let's get into what I'm reading. So I plan to read these books from smallest to biggest. Sometimes, what is that saying? You start eating an elephant one bite at a time. Is that the saying? I might be saying that wrong, but that's the mentality that I'm going into tackling these books because some of them are really small and some of them are really big. So the first book is The Dead Cattails Assassins by P. Djeli Clark. And if you are not new, you know that one of my goals for 2025 is to make sure every month that I am reading at least one book that has been on my TBR for a year or more, right? And this fits the bill. So the main character, I want to pronounce her name as Even. It's spelled Eveeen. So Even is known as the Eviscerator, okay? And she is an assassin, a part of this guild that is run by the matron of assassins, okay? Before individuals can join this guild, this organization, they have to have their memories wiped. So that is for, of course, the protection of the organization, and it's cutting any interferences that the assassin may have, of course, carrying out their job. So these assassins, specifically Even, of course, have to follow 3 vows. The first is that the job or the contract that they take on has to be just. Now, the assassin doesn't determine what's just. The matron does that, okay? The second is that whoever the target is has to be neutralized. And then the third rule is that once you accept a job, it has to be carried out. Now, from the synopsis, Even is on a job and she starts to recall some memories that she shouldn't be. And she encounters some individuals from the memories that she's having. I am hoping that this is going to be really good. Again, not very long. The front of it says that P. DeJelly Clark couldn't write a bad book if he tried. So hey, that's big talk right there. So definitely hoping this is gonna be good. And I love the cover. Okay, she got her braids in, and then I think these are called size. I feel like the first time I saw this type of weapon was when I watched oh my god, I know that movie. Electra? Yeah, Electra. Y'all remember that movie, Electra? Anyway, getting off topic. Any of us who have seen an action movie involving assassins like Electra, right? If Even can't carry out this job, that means this guild is possibly gonna come after her. So it's not many pages. I wonder, how is she gonna be able to navigate these memories and counting this person from her past, but not going against the guild and the matron of assassins. So I'm gonna see. So next up, I have a few romances. Now, I can't go a long period of time without some romance. Like 90% of the time, what I'm reading has a romantic component to it, okay? And this next one has, I think, some romance with a love triangle situation. And I love that type of plot. I love that type of element to a romance where there's a love triangle because of the conflict. How is the main character going to navigate those feelings, and where does that leave the third person, you know? So I like the angst, I like the conflict, I like to see the journey, you know. So anyway, it is called Between Friends and Lovers. So Josephine Botane, also known as Dr. JoJo, shares her advice on health and self-love, self-care as an Instagram influencer, okay? And on camera, her life is very put together. She seems, she is, not seems, she's very knowledgeable and gives very sound advice. But off camera, her story is more complicated. She's grappling with depression, the pressures of her career, and her love life is non existent. She has had a very long-term crush on her best friend, Ezra Alderman. Okay. Now, she's invited to her best friend's birthday party, his 30th, and he shows up with her childhood bully. Okay. Now it says, no one is more shocked than Malcolm Waters when his debut novel transforms him into a literary darling, the type who gets invited to a swanky party to discuss film opportunities. Rubbing elbows with the entertainment's elite could be great for his career, except he's terrible with people. Just when Malcolm is ready to escape, he is rescued by none other than Dr. JoJo. Okay, now this is apparently the person that he bullied. He's been following her on social media for years, and she's even more impressive in real life. To his bewilderment, the admiration seems mutual. But Joe, Ezra, and Mal exist in a world where the line between private and public is as blurred as the one between friendship and love. The question is, can they risk defining those lines to create something real? So I'm not completely sure. I'm not sure because it like I want to get excited, but I'm not sure. Okay, so it says that Ezra, this is her best friend, shows up to his 30th birthday party with her childhood bully Malcolm on his arm. So are Malcolm? So these are the three. Okay. So are Malcolm and Ezra together? And JoJo, of course, has had a long time crush on Ezra, but then she also starts to like Malcolm. I don't know. Like it says, the question is, can they risk defining those lines to create something real? I don't know. If this is a poly situation, I'm all for it. I love poly romance. Again, why choose? Why choose? Okay. But we go see. We go see. Next up is Pride and Protest by Nikki Payne. So this one says, a woman goes head to head with the CEO of a corporation threatening to destroy her neighborhood. This is a fresh and modern retelling of Pride and Prejudice. So, Liza B wants to take her neighborhood back from the soulless property developer dropping unaffordable condos on every street corner in DC. Don't even get me started on unaffordable. But her planned protest at a corporate event takes a turn after she mistakes the smoldering hot CEO for a waiter. When they go toe to toe, the sparks fly, but her impossible to ignore family thwarts her every move. Lisa wants Dorsey Fitzgerald out of her hood, but she'll settle for getting him out of her head. At first, Dorsey writes off Lisa Bennett as more interested in performing outrage than acting on it. As the adopted Filipino son of a wealthy white family, he's always felt a bit out of place and knows a fraud when he sees one. What? He just called her a fraud. He don't know her like that. Okay? And she don't know him like that either. But they gonna get to know each other, right? But when Lisa's protest results in a viral meme, their lives are turned upside down, and Dorsey comes to realize this irresistible revolutionary is the most real woman he's ever met. This is really cute. This is giving me definitely not the same storyline, but this is giving me. Have y'all watched that romance movie? It's called Something New. I'm actually going to be rewatching that for Valentine's Day. Like, I have like this Valentine's Day movie playlist that I watch. So I just kind of get Something New vibes with this. Yeah, it's going to be cute. It's going to be a moment. Now, hopefully, the lawn mowing in the background is not too distracting. It's Saturday morning, and we know people be up and about trying to get some work done around their house, right? So, hopefully, that's not too distracting. And hopefully, my hoarseness is not too distracting either. Let me drink a little tea. I'm drinking sweet tangerine positive energy tea. And it's cute because the tea bags come with little positive affirmations or messages. So this one says, uncage your heart, free your heart, let it be wild. So cheers to that. 16-year-old Joan Sands creates and maintains the stage blades for William Shakespeare's acting company, the King's Men, using her magical ability to control metal, a power gifted to her by the Orisha Ogun. Joan and her family have always been aware of the Fae's presence within London society, subtle, peaceful, and marked by the faint glow that only those blessed by the Orisha can see. When England's new king fails to uphold the pact between his realm and theirs, brutal attacks forewarn the approach of a malevolent presence. After Joan wounds a powerful fae and saves the son of a cruel lord, she finds herself thrown into the middle of the approaching war between the human and fae worlds. Swashbuckling, romantic, and full of the sights and sounds of Shakespeare's London, that self-same metal delivers an unforgettable story and a heroine unlike any other. So this is definitely part of a series. They have the second cover on the back. So yes, this has fae, magic, talk of African lore, African mythology. So it is set in London. Sounds like a good time. This next one is also a YA read and takes place in England. And it's called The Queen's Spade by Sarah Rowley. I mentioned this one in my 2025 TBR. So it's loosely inspired by the true story of Sarah Forbes Bonetta, Queen Victoria's African goddaughter. Okay, so this is said to be a historical thriller. So it's 1862, and Sarah Forbes Bonetta was once a princess of the Igbo clan. She's had to leave behind her land, her culture, her family, and wants revenge against the British crown and its system of colonial humanitarianism. I probably said that wrong. I always butcher that word. So Sarah has to play the game. She's going to have to immerse herself in the political hierarchy, all of the things, in order to enact this revenge that she wants against her godmother, Queen Victoria. That means that she's going to have to make alliances, it says, with some dangerous yet alluring criminals of the underworld, London's underworld, and exploiting the affection of Queen Victoria's own son, Prince Albert. But Queen Victoria is not queen for no reason. She catches on, apparently, to how Sarah feels and what Sarah's plans are. And as we know, back then, one of the tactical moves that a monarch or political figure could do would be marrying off their child. So it says that Queen Victoria begins to suspect Sally's true intentions. She plays the only card in Victorian society that could possibly cage Sally again: marriage. With time running out and her wedding day looming, Sally's vengeful game of cat and mouse turns deadly as she's faced with the striking revelation that the price of revenge isn't just paid in blood, it means sacrificing your heart. I know that Sarah is upset. I don't know how I feel about, and I don't know how Prince Albert is going to be portrayed in this yet. I just don't know if it's right for her to be playing on the affections of Prince Albert. Like, does he truly like her, or is he just infatuated with this African goddess. Who knows? But we gonna see. I'm gonna see. So I just hope that she doesn't lose herself too much in this act of revenge that she has planned. I mentioned this next one. I think I did a little community post on this one. It is a novel called The Accomplice by 50 Cent with Aaron Phillip Clark. When I saw this on the new books at my local library, I was like, what? What? 50 Cent got a book out? Like, he dabbling in everything, which is very smart. You want to diversify your portfolio as much as you can, okay? And he has done so. So it says, New York born and Texas bred, Nia Adams has always dreamed of becoming a Texas Ranger. She knows the dangers of the job, and as the first Black female ranger, she knows the politics. But she's never encountered a criminal like Desmond Bell. A Vietnam vet turned thief, Desmond steals more than money. He steals the secrets of the rich and the powerful and blackmails them for millions. When Desmond steals from the Duchamps, one of the wealthiest families in the country, Nia's investigation into the robbery threatens to expose him and the criminal enterprise he works for. As the bodies pile up, Nia digs deeper for the truth, putting her life and career on the line. It's a deadly cat and mouse game between ranger and thief. But to protect their family secrets, the Duchamps won't hesitate to kill them both. The Fallen Fruit by Chantel Madison. This one, reading the synopsis, it gave me Kindred. I feel like the author maybe was inspired a bit by Kindred, and I am definitely... Kindred was one of the books that I had to read in high school, and since high school I have reread it. I've watched the movie, I've watched the Hulu series, and I just feel like it was... Sometimes some of the books they pick in for you to read in school are like meh, okay? But Kindred has always been something that's stuck with me since then. On a rainy day in May 1964, history professor Cicely Bridge Davis begins to search for the 65 acres of land she inherited from her father's family. The quest leads her to uncover a dark secret. In every generation, one offspring from each Bridge family unit vanishes and is mysteriously whisked back in time. Rules have been established that must be followed to prevent dire consequences. Can y'all imagine? I think time travel is cool. I think everyone in my house has a bit of a cold or allergy situation right now. No, not my sister. It's the weirdest thing. Her kids don't get her sick, but they come in my room and get me sick. Anyway, can y'all imagine traveling back in time, especially to a time period with slavery? Oh my gosh. I can't imagine. So her family is aware that this happens to them, and they've done things to prepare, okay, for that one member that goes missing in each generation, okay? So there's rules that have been established that must be followed to prevent dire consequences. The first one, never interfere with past events. Number 2, always carry your free Negro papers. Number 3, search for the survival family packs in the orchard and surrounding forest. 4, do not speak to strangers. With only a family Bible and a map marked with the locations of mysterious containers to aid her, Cicely heads to the library, hoping to discover the truth of how this curse began and how it might be ended. As she moves through time, she encounters a circle of ancestors who will change her life. It is a race through time and against the clock to find the answers that will free her family forever. Talk about a generational curse. All right, so raise y'all hand if y'all like vampires. Raise your hand if you like seeing people of color as vampires. Well, if you raise your hand, then I think this next one you might want to check out. You might want to put on your TBR. And it is Immortal Dark by Tejas Gurma. So I saw this. It's been on my TBR, I think, for a year now. And I'm like, okay, it's time to pick it up. I waited forever. Does the library have it? They said yes. I said, give it to me. Okay. So, this one says, orphaned heiress Kidan Adane has grown up far from the arcane society she was born into. In this society, human bloodlines are able to gain power by forming some sort of bond with vampires, okay? So Kidan's sister disappears, and she believes that the vampire that is tied or bonded with her bloodline is responsible. His name is Susinyos Sagad. Totally might be saying his name wrong. Love it though. Susinyos Sagad. So she believes that he has something to do with her sister's disappearance, okay? She decides to infiltrate the elite Uxley University, and she has to live with him while she is at this university. It says, when a murder mirroring her sister June's disappearance shakes the university, Kidan sinks further into the ruthless underworld of vampires, risking her very soul. There she discovers a centuries-old threat, and June could be at the center of it. To save her sister, Kidan must bring the university to its knees and either break free from the horrors of her own actions or embrace the dark entanglements of love and the blood it requires. So it seems like she might lose herself in the efforts to try to save her sister. So I like it. I like the darkness, the angst, the questioning of, your morals. Like, are you really going to do that? Are you really going to do that? Are you okay with that? Right? We all have a dark side. And sometimes we got to face that dark side. I'm going on a tangent. Anyway, it seems like she's going to have to face that. And yeah, did he have anything to do with her sister's disappearance? We gonna see. Speaking of vampires, speaking of Black vampires, one of my favorite depictions of a Black vampire is Aaliyah in Queen of the Damned. Like, I watched that movie way earlier than what I should have. Like, I was like, I want to say maybe I was 7 or 8. Had no business watching it, but I watched it, and it has been a movie on repeat for me, like at least once a year, usually during Halloween time. But yeah, I love Aaliyah in that movie. She's gorgeous, and I love the fact that whoever wrote the movie or produced it, like, they show that like Black people were in Egypt, like we were royalty. And a lot of movies unfortunately get it wrong with, like, if you're going to depict something, you want to try to depict it as accurately as possible, okay? And unfortunately, Black people's um, representation in history throughout the world has been misdepicted or not depicted at all, okay? So yeah. Oh, and that will lead me into the next book, because we're talking about Black people being present in different cultures, way back when. And this next book, called The Black Shield Maiden, does just that. Lore, legend, and history tell us of the Vikings, warrior kings on epic journeys of conquest and plunder. But the stories we know are not the only stories to tell. There is another story, one that has been lost to the mists of time, the saga of the Dark Queen. This saga begins with Yafwe, a defiant yet fiercely compassionate young warrior who is stolen from her home in the flourishing Ghanaian Empire and taken to a distant kingdom of the north. There she is thrust into a strange, cold world of savage shield maidens, tyrannical rulers, and mysterious gods. And there she also finds something unexpected, a kindred spirit. She comes to serve Freydis, a shy princess who couldn't be more different from the confident and self-possessed Yafwe. But they both want the same thing: to forego their own fate. Yahweh inspires Freydis to dream of a future greater than the one that the king and queen have forced upon her. And the princess at her side, Yahweh learns to navigate this new world and grows increasingly determined to become one of the legendary shield maidens, to fight not only for her freedom, but for the freedom of others. Yahweh may have lost her home, but she still knows who she is, and she's not afraid to be the flame that burns a city to the ground so a new world can rise from the ashes. She will alter the course of history and become the revolutionary heroine of her own myth. This sounds amazing, okay? On the back it says, with Black Shield Maiden, Willow Smith and Jess Hindle pull the reader into a rich adventure filled with the detailed prose and poignant symbolism. You quickly become captivated by the character of Yahweh and her plight as a young woman in a vicious world. With her first foray into literature, Smith proves there is no limit to her boundless imagination and explosive creativity. Yes, I feel like Willow Smith is very creative. I don't listen to a lot of her music, but the songs that I do have on my playlist, I enjoy. And I do feel like she's very creative. I enjoy listening to her speak. So listening to words that she has a story that she has come up with, of course, with another author, it's going to be good. I hope it's good. I really do. Thank you guys for tuning in for another video. Thank you for bearing with me with my hoarseness and all of the other auditory distractions. I hope to be back soon with another upload. But until then, you guys be safe, be blessed. Tune out of all of the distractions going on in the media and the internet. Okay, it's a lot going on right now. And as we know, a great way to tune out is to pick up a book. Or go take a walk in nature. I actually need to do more of that. I do. I don't like mosquitoes. One of my biggest complaints about trying to go out and be in nature is mosquitoes. But anyway, my point is, okay, until next time, you guys, be safe, be blessed, keep your peace, all right, and remain unapologetically you. I'll see you next time.